Now today's Through the Decades Retrospectacle. For the first half of the 20th century, there were two modes of American life: urban, which was tied to commerce and manufacturing, and rural, which was tied to agriculture. But in the economic upswing that followed World War II, a third way was introduced, with the sophistication of city life and the wide open spaces of the country. The suburbs, as they were dubbed, had no economic function. They were strictly residential, a place for the young, affluent, post-war generation to set up new communities and raise their families far away from the crowds and noise of the city. During the 1950s, suburban life was seen as the ideal blueprint for American society. Dad commuting to work in the city, Mom staying at home to keep house, and the kids enjoying the safety and privileges of the booming American century. The new medium of television helped create this mythology. Virtually every depiction of an American family was set in a big house on a cozy, tree-lined suburban street. But it didn't take long for cracks to develop in the facade.
As the babies start coming, they usually decide to concentrate on their houses, with the woman staying home to learn new ways to run a household, where it soon dawns on her that she could use a little expert help. While the kids are young, many of the mothers try to stay at home.
Increasingly, housewives felt the isolation and frustration that suburban life imposed on them, which helped spark the women's liberation movement in the 1970s. And just as the rise of American car culture made the suburbs possible, the oil crisis of the 70s dealt it a devastating blow. By the end of the century, even TV had to admit the new reality. The sitcoms of the 80s and 90s showcased the downside of suburbia, and a brand new genre called suburban gothic portrayed life in the suburbs as a literal horror show. In the 21st century, the irony of the suburbs is that they're as congested and noisy as the cities the original suburbanites fled from, which has led an increasing percentage of young millennials back to the cities.